A very good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good boy. Look at that excitement. That didn't sound exciting at all. Good morning. I am thrilled to join all of you this morning to share a little bit of the perspective broadly about transportation in California, what's happening across the board, some of the things that CEO Cooney just mentioned, and very specifically transit, what's going on in the transit world from our perspective at the state. But before getting to my remarks, a few people to thank this morning. First, Chair Cooney, thank you for your leadership in leading this organization. Congratulations, as I mentioned to you earlier, on the success that you are seeing down in San Diego with people getting back on your system. Thanks for being that example for California and the nation. So kudos to you for that. Also, your man in charge here, Michael Pimentel. I want to thank Michael for the invitation to come and address you this morning. Michael has been a very important partner. If you don't know him well enough, he's been a very important partner in all of our efforts in state government as it relates to transit and transportation in general. Engagement with CalSTA, engagement with the governor's office and Caltrans. So Michael, thank you for that work over many years. Melissa Figueroa, where's Melissa? Yeah, by the way, give him a hand. Give Michael a hand, yeah. Melissa Figueroa is somewhere in this room hiding somewhere. Oh yeah, she's way in the back. You shouldn't be doing audio, Melissa, but Melissa used to work at High Speed Rail. Thank you as well. I know you've been heavily involved in helping to plan this. Thank you for your work. Ray Tillis, wave your hand. If you don't know Ray, you should know him. He's the federal purse. I'm sure you'll hear from him. We only like you, Ray, because of the money. That's the only reason why the federal dollars you bring. Just joking, Ray. But thank you for being here, Ray. And the CalSTA team that is here as well. I don't think Chad is here yet, but Chad, Tammy McGowan, and Alejandro Espinoza. Alejandro, if you don't mind waving, Tammy, thank you guys for being here as well. Just two more things and I'll get to my comments here. I also ran into this morning as I was walking into the room, Jeff. Very few people. Jeff, if you don't mind standing and waving. One of my predecessors on many fronts. He ran High Speed Rail. He also ran Caltrans. Jeff, does everyone know Jeff? Stand up, Jeff. Just wave a little bit. He's hiding back there. He's a legend in transportation in our state, so thank you, Jeff. And the final thank you goes to you all. Leading the transit agencies across our state. I can't tell you how much I believe the work that you do makes the biggest difference for the success that we're having. Without transit organizations, the transit organizations that you run in our state, the state doesn't have the success that it has. Whether it be economical success or environmental success, health success, on and on and on. There's so many impacts for what you do that gets often overlooked or underestimated or understated. So many kudos and thank you to all of you for the incredible work that you do in running your transit organizations. So you've seen this a million times before. CalSTA's Core 4, the four most important things that I think we need to address every day in transportation in California. Now I know the times have changed at the Ray Tillis and above level in Washington. That has not deterred us in California. These priorities remain. They're not just priorities, they are values that we believe in California. Because if we accomplish these four things, we believe we will continue to provide upward mobility for people in our state. Ultimately, that's what transportation is about. It's about people. And if we accomplish these four things, if we have success here, we will continue to lift people up in California. So I'm going to talk about these four things as briefly as I can. Number one, climate action on that list of what we call the Core 4. CAPTI 2.0 came out earlier this year, has 14 new actions that we're focused on, and it continues. If you haven't had a chance to look at this document, it continues to prioritize the work that you do, transit. It's a top priority from it. We got a lot of stakeholder feedback from several meetings, and some of you in this room probably were heavily involved in that, so thank you for your engagement in helping to get this done. By the way, the first CalSTA that was done under the prior secretary, and we completed 34 actions that were in that document. We completed them more than a year ahead of schedule. So this CalSTA, this planning document runs through the rest of the Newsom administration to get things done for transportation. SB 125, many of you are familiar with this already. $1 billion will be released later this FY, this fiscal year. You will see an additional $1 billion come out. So far, $3.4 billion has come out of this. Many of you have sent in your reports and the required letters to get this funding drawn down. So stay tuned for the next tranche of money, $1 billion to come out. The Transit Transformation Task Force is coming around the corner as far as the report that is due to the legislature. Many of you will remember that in December of 2023, after SB 125 passed, I was given the authority by the legislature and the governor to form this task force. We appointed 25 members who have been working very diligently to come up with these policy ideas and funding ideas that are going to transform, hopefully, transit into the future in California. By the way, any members of the task force in the room, other than Michael? I know Michael. Yes, thank you. At least 2 people in the room who are members of that task force. So thank you for your service on the task force. And I'm looking forward. We're only 5 months away from a final report being due to the legislature. Also, the Caltrans Director policy on transit is something that you should expect out next month. When I was the director of Caltrans, this was something that I was hoping would continue to see advancement, and it's finally at a stage where it will come out from the Caltrans Director's office next month, and look forward to your input in guiding that. So I mentioned to CEO Cooney ridership and positive advancements that we're seeing across the board in transit ridership. You probably can't see this graphic too well, but the green lines show, and the numbers in the middle of the screen that show some of the positives, and I can't even see it as well. I got the old man eyes here. But I'll tell you briefly what some of these numbers look like, because you may not be able to see it directly from where you're sitting as well. So the second line is LA Metro. Anybody in the room from LA Metro? You got to be kidding me. Our biggest transit agency in the state. LA Metro is the second line that you see there. I've got to make a phone call to the CEO Wiggins. But the numbers, the important thing, the numbers in the middle of the screen after the organization names show the positives in the year over year in transit ridership. LA Metro is at 7.7 in increase in ridership. San Francisco Muni 9.1% over year from 2023 to 2024. Several cities in California rank in the top 25. That's what this list is. This list as well, same thing. This is light rail ridership. Light rail ridership across the country over the first 2 months, comparing year over year. Those first 2 black positions that you see there, the very top one is LA Metro. The very next one, San Diego Trolley. In the ridership that they're seeing. The dark black mark over the green is showing the current, the most recent numbers over the prior year numbers. So that's what you see. The black is the current number, the green, if you will, is the past year's number. So again, a lot of positive momentum for transit ridership, and in this case in particular, light rail ridership across the country. So some good news there. TRCP, the chair mentioned this already. To me, this is probably one of the most successful decisions the state has made on investing in transit in California. Can we do more? Absolutely. But if you're not familiar with this program, you should get familiar with it. So far, nearly $12 billion has come out of this program since its inception in 2015. So it just turned 10 years old last month, this program. 153 projects have received funding from this. And as you can see from that purple mark, October 2024, I had the fortune again of releasing and announcing $1.3 billion for 27 projects. And you see those purple dots across the state. That's where those projects received awards and all the recent awards. Out of that nearly $12 billion, more than 50% of the award has happened during my tenure in this responsibility. So I'm grateful for a lot of your applications and the work that you're doing to come after these funds. By the way, out of that $11.5 billion, $3.8 billion of that money has come from cap and trade. So almost $4 billion of that came from what was mentioned already. I can't tell you how to engage with your state legislatures on this, on cap and trade. That's not my responsibility. What I can tell you is how important cap and trade is. How that engagement happens with your legislative leaders, that is your call. But $4 billion, nearly $4 billion of that $11.5 billion you see has come from the program. Number two, equity. CalITP remains one of the technology tools that we're putting into place that I'm very excited about, that Caltrans and CalSTA are leading. So far, 87 agencies across the state have engaged or are using some form of our CalITP program. Essentially, it's a bank card or a cell phone where you can just tap and get on a ride instead of having to purchase a ticket. If you travel in Europe or in Asia, this is pretty normal. For us, these are new efforts to adopt a system like this, but anywhere else in the world, this is common practice over and over. So we look forward to, at some point, being at 100% of every transit agency having this system in California. The benefits, I don't need to run through it with you. You all know that very much more than I do. So if you're not familiar with the program, please look into it. We have an Equity Advisory Committee, the EAC. Its second cohort is in place. 15 members of the general public were appointed to continue to examine our policies and our funding at Caltrans, at CalSTA, at the CTC, to make sure that we were leaning more and more towards a more equitable approach to do transportation in California. And also we have an equity index tool that is being incorporated into how we do our work at Caltrans specifically. Number three on the list of the core four, safety. I think many of you know this already, but this is probably one of our biggest challenges as it relates to transportation. Nearly 10 people, or more than 10 people, I should say, more than 10 people die every single day in California. 10 people a day using the transportation system of this state. Nearly 30% of those people, nearly 3 out of 10, are vulnerable users. Somebody who's walking, biking, trying to get access to transit, killed a day. Not a week or a month, a day. Those numbers are off the charts compared to other states, or even if you want to compare it to a country. The example I like to use all the time is England. England is a country of 65 million people. California, 40 million people. In England, they lose 1,800 people on average annually is what they're losing a year due to transportation-related crashes and incidents. 1,800 a year. We have topped, over the last 4 years, regularly topped 4,000 a year. Transit plays a huge role in helping to curb those numbers. Probably won't be able to see this from where you are, but first bar, rural auto crashes. Second, urban auto. Third bar, rail crashes. And final bar there is buses. The blue mark is showing occupants and the death rates, or death percentages, if you will, fatalities, as it relates to that, the usage of those modes. Rural, you can see how high it is, the very first bar. The fatality rates there much higher. Urban auto, same thing, much higher. The very last bar, very thin blue line, people on buses. And the rail one that you see, where there's a green mark, that is a high one, that third bar, those are suicides. Those are suicides. Those are not people on the rail system dying. It's people who unfortunately have decided to take their own life. So Rail and bus continues to be one of the best ways to travel from a safety standpoint in our country. Even further evidence to show this, challenging to see possibly from where you are, but transit ridership, that bottom, I'm going to test myself here, x-axis or y-axis, at the bottom there, the more transit ridership you see per capita, the less fatalities you see. The less transit ridership you see, that's all those blue dots that you see on the screen, the fatality rates continue to go up. So, and by the way, this report recently came out just this year from the Victoria Transportation Institute. They put this report out showing the correlation between safety and public transportation usage, one of the things that doesn't get highlighted often enough. Finally, of the core four, economic prosperity. One of the things I've been most proud of in this responsibility is continuing to see the economic advancement of this state. We are, I'm sure you noticed already, global leaders without a doubt. People know us for innovation, they know us for our environmental priorities. This governor continues to be staunch in highlighting that. But some people call our decisions to focus on environmental issues, environmental outcomes. They call it versus economic growth. They call it an or issue, that you have to pick one or the other. In my opinion, they're and issues, is what I've been saying. They are and issues. You can do both economic, you can focus on the economy and grow the economy, and also continue to be stringent and focused on environmental outcomes. You can do both. No better example of showing this than this graphic. As our GDP has grown over the last 25 years, this graphic is showing 18 years. As our GDP has grown and our population has grown, look what has happened at the bottom. Look what has happened. However you want to look at emissions, GHG from a per capita standpoint, however you want to look at it, emissions have continued to go down in California while our GDP and population has gone up. You can do both. Yes, please. Yeah. You can do both of these things in California. And again, you saw this news recently. California now the fourth largest economy in the world. Many of you, again, are helping to make this the case in the work that you do. Near $4.1 trillion ahead of countries like India with a population of 1.4 billion people. And California's population only 40 million people. So just remarkable what has happened with this country's economy. Finally, on economic prosperity, high-speed rail. You can put high-speed rail in any category of those core four. It can be a climate issue, it could be a safety potential issue, it could be an equity-focused outcome, but in this particular case, the economic potential that this project will have when it is done. Again, we're expecting passenger service within the next 5 years on the system. All the environmental documents except one. We're 95% of the way done on the environmental documents on this project. So far, 15,000 jobs have been created because of the work on this project. We finally started to lay rail, and also many of you are familiar with the funding that we recently received from the prior federal administration, Ray, under Secretary Buttigieg, more than $3 billion in funding. So a little bit of the highlight on the core four and some of the things that we are focused on in transportation. This is a slight glimpse into it. This is not an exhaustive list by any means. I was told to stick to 10 minutes. I know that was over, but nonetheless, thank you for your attention this morning. I'm looking forward to a back and forth conversation. Thank you.